8 of the Hip Hop Orchestra present, and I'm joined by an incredibly amazing singer, Ellie Harris. How you doing? You all right?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
No, that's fine. It's my pleasure. How's things been for you? Been okay?
Yeah, things have all been good. Obviously, we're doing as much as we can considering the crisis. I guess that's that's the craziness in the world right now. But yeah, it's going good.
Good. You've been keeping busy at the moment.
Yeah, I've been keeping busy. I've been making obviously, being an independent artist
Mhm.
is managing yourself is all about the consistency and not like stopping really
Mhm.
with the marketing, with the networking. So I've been trying to do that as much as possible online still, because obviously there were no sort of personal sort of meet up events going on. But yeah, as much as I can, I've been doing that online and stuff. And yeah, the recording and composing, writing, a lot as much as possible. Yeah.
Good. But how do you find all that, the kind of marketing to the writing stuff yourself, to doing all these things at the same time? How do you find that personally? Do you find it overwhelming, or do you find it quite an easy thing to do?
Um, it's interesting because I think it does partly depend on the person.
Hmm.
I am someone who is interested in the business and I want to be part of it. I'm not just here for the performance aspect of it. So I enjoy doing it personally. Yeah, it can get a lot. It is quite difficult to have to do, you make time for writing every day, performing, just practicing every day, as well as the emailing and the
Hmm.
sort of reaching out and yeah, just networking and sort of sorting out collabs and stuff. So yeah, it's okay. I
Hmm.
think personally I actually do enjoy it, but it can definitely get a bit much sometimes, and you do have to sort of, it feels like you need to sort of just take a sit back.
Hmm. Of course.
But yeah.
Good. Do you have a kind of routine that you work with every day, or do you kind of take it day by day and focus on things that need to be done that day?
Yeah, so I would say I'm a take it day by day kind of person a bit more. I will, if there's something that I definitely need to get done, I will plan to get it done and sort of do it or set a day for it. But overall, yeah, I guess it's sort of it's a day by day thing. We're all human. We all got
Yeah.
things going on in life. We're not robots. So yeah, it's like that. That's how it is.
Yeah, of course. And do you find this time has helped you to become more inspired and write more, or has it kind of hampered your sort of creativity because of lockdown? You can't, like you say, go out and meet people or perform as much.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting because I think at the start for me it was a little bit of a I think when it came to writing, yeah, I did have a bit of a writer's block at the start of the lockdown.
Hmm.
um I think, yeah, because everything was just so surreal, and it was hard. Now we've all had time to comprehend what's gone on and actually sit and think about it and absorb everything that's sort of happened, not just the lockdown, but everything that's being made aware at the moment, like about what's going on everywhere in the world.
Hmm.
And I think now we especially considering we've been locked down, and we've had time now to sort of comprehend and absorb it. So I feel like now sort of it's becoming, I have not got writer's block now. I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't last too long. So yeah, I think now that people have had time to comprehend what's gone on, there's more space for the inspiration to sort of come in. But I think definitely at the start it was quite just whoa, 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 what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was different. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned writer's block there. I always have to find out different ways that different people get over writer's block. So how do you kind of get over that? Do you kind of sit back and wait for inspiration to come to you again, or do you literally keep writing until you kind of overcome that hurdle?
Um, I think it's a bit different each time, but if I was to sum it up, I'd say you sort of wait a little while. You see how long is it this gonna last, and you
Hmm.
sort of hope that, yeah, maybe if I do take a week or two off, it would just sort of like whatever. But if it doesn't, then I think I found myself just literally forcing myself into sort of writing something and just really sort of saying, no, like you have to do this kind of thing, like almost as if it's some,
Yeah.
you know, an essay or something you've got to do. Like, so yeah, I think if you do just sit down and I've got to do this kind of thing, or if you hear something personally, if I hear a piece of music or a track or something, like I can get big inspiration from just like a sound, like just one sort of section of a song or something, or an arrangement, like that can inspire me a lot to sort of just come up and write something within that mood. So yeah, it's personally, yeah, it's a wait for a little bit, and then if nothing's coming, just come on, force yourself.
Yeah.
Sit down. This is your thing. This is you know, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to be doing. So
Yeah.
I've got to do it.
Definitely. Like I want to get back to that later, actually, about what inspires you and so forth. But let's take it back to the beginning of your journey. So, how did you get into music and know from day one that you want to become a singer?
Well, I think I consider myself someone extremely lucky to have been as so very little when I realised that I had a passion for singing. In particular, I did start sort of figuring out how to play little bits on piano from the age of sort of 4, 5, 6. And since then, it's always been in my nature, and it's always been a passion of mine. But I would say it was when I went to Brit, when I made the decision to go to Brit, that was when it really opened my eyes to see how possible it actually is, and how it's just about work, consistency and drive, and sort of gaining knowledge and throughout. And it's possible. So I feel like like I said, I'm very lucky to have always known what I wanted to do.
That's so
But
good.
even more lucky to have had the opportunity to go to Brit and have them open my eyes to see how possible it is to
Yeah.
reach that goal. So
I'm so
yeah.
glad you mentioned Brit School, because I really wanted to find out more about that. I'm really excited to find out. I mean, because obviously, as all musicians know, the Brit School is obviously amazing, and for you to actually go there and graduate is an incredible experience. So, even before we get into experience there, I mean, what's the kind of introduction like? I mean, how do you even get into the Brit School? Is it like a very high standard, or like exams or performances? Like, what's the kind of, how did you get into Brit School?
So obviously it's a very diverse place. So it's not just music, theatre and dance. You've got film and media productions, you've got interactive digital design and sort of visual arts. You've got so much there. So for every strand, it is a little bit different, the audition process. In regards to its like what I think the main reason why it is very difficult, they say it's very difficult to get into, is because of the amount of applications they get and then the amount of auditions they get from that. And the process is you apply, and then not everybody who actually applies will get an audition. So if you get the audition, you then have to go and audition and then do an interview, and then it's sort of whittled down. And I think for the year 10 and 11s, the music class was, I think it was 50 students.
Oh, wow.
So that's why it is seen as something, it's difficult, because there are thousands of people that apply to it every year, and they do whittle it down to 50. But I think as long as you show passion and dedication, if this is really who you are, and this is really what you do, and this is really what you're about, and they will see that. So yeah, but yeah, it was an interesting process. It saved my life, honestly. It did. I really encourage any young artist who wants to pursue this as a career to go and to audition and try it out.
Of course. That's incredible. I mean, how did you feel initially when you said it went from like thousands of applications to down to 50, and you're one of those 50? How did you feel when you got that kind of letter or email to say that you got through?
Yeah, I was very shocked, actually,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. I was surprised. It was I was not expecting it at all, because I just like many other people who I was in class with, believe that they messed up their audition, and I really did, actually. So yeah, I was very shocked, of course, emotional, and excited, and just grateful, really grateful.
Yeah, how do you feel that you messed up though? Because obviously, like I bet we just say like we're perfectionists, aren't we? In terms of wanting to put
Yes.
on that amazing performance, and I know exactly how you feel. But how do you feel
Yeah.
that? How do you feel that you kind of didn't put on your best performance in a way?
Um, the way I think, I mean, my memory's, a bit blurry, but from what I remember of my first audition, it was what reason I thought I messed it up was because there was a moment in my song where I think I sort of stopped or hesitated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I don't think I started again. I think I did just carry on, but I was really up. That really just ruined it for me.
Oh,
And then I remember in the interview afterwards, I was quite. I feel like I was quite blunt and quite closed off, quite one-worded, and I'm not quite sure. I just don't know. And we left, and my mum was actually quite. My mum was like, she agreed with me, as in the sense of, you were blunt, you should have been a bit more open. So both of us were like, oh, did it mess it up a bit? Whereas my stepdad, who was there, was like, nope, she's got it. But we were both like, no, it's not going to happen.
yeah.
So that's why for the good, I think it was a good 3-4 months, we had to wait for the result.
That long?
I was done. I was done. I just thought I fluffed it. I was not going, and I was going to have to go back to the other school I was at.
Wow, is that long? 3-4 months you had to wait?
I think it was, God, I think it was 2 to 3 months, I think. I think we would have got our result within January, February time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my audition was sort of November-ish.
Okay.
So October-ish. Maybe not then. Oh gosh, my memory is so bad. Please don't rely on me for this stuff. I will actually have to go and look through the letters to find out the truth.
No
But
worries,
yeah.
that's fine. But when you did get through though, I mean, how did you feel after that? You must have been over the moon.
Yeah, I was like I said, I was shocked. I was not expecting it, and I was over the moon, and I was excited. And although I didn't actually, it was the whole, I hadn't actually ever sort of changed schools at a time where it's sort of like, typically you're at a school from year 7 to year 11 that you do those years there.
Yeah.
Whereas I left the school I was at before at the end of year 9 and joined Brit in year 10. So although everybody there it was still, there were a good few people there that knew each other, and I was the only one there that didn't. Not the only one, sorry, but I didn't know. There was, so I was a bit nervous. Point was, I was a bit nervous, obviously, starting somewhere where you don't actually know anybody in your class. But overall, mainly excitement, of course.
Brilliant.
It's really cool.
That's incredible though. So really well done for doing that though. Honestly, it's really amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's okay.
I feel lucky, basically, just to have had the opportunity.
Yeah. So was it a full-time thing then, Monday to Friday that you were at Brit School, or was it like 2-3 days a week, or how did it work?
Yeah. So for the year 10 and 11, it was Monday to Friday, and on Fridays we finished early, which was nice. I think we finished at 12:1 on a Friday, which was nice. So yeah, it was 8:45. I had to be at registration, and then we finished at 4:30, something like that, 4 o'clock. So yeah, 9 to 4. But then for the year 12 and 13, so that was the sixth form, it was obviously a sixth form, so it was more spaced out. I think we had 2 full days, and the rest we had 2 half days and then 1 day off. So that was nice. Have a bit more, freedom.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So let's talk about your kind of time there then. So what were the kind of things that they taught you when you were at the Brit School? Was the workload quite immense when you were there?
Um, Personally, for me, the sixth form
Mm.
was, of course, much heavier, and was quite. I did find myself feeling a bit overwhelmed at times with the amount that I had to do. Um, but that being said, personally, I'm someone who's never really got on with that kind of stuff. Obviously we didn't have to do exams in the music courses, which was amazing, because
Mhm.
again, like, exams were just never for me. But yeah, I was always quite a last minute person when it came to sort of coursework and stuff, so I feel like that's probably actually the main reason why I felt as overloaded as I did at times, because I just left it all to the last minute a lot of the time. But that being said, yeah, it was a lot. We did have a lot to learn. It wasn't just music performance. We're not just singing and sort of playing on stage and in rehearsal rooms the whole time. We're we're learning a lot about the industry. We had to do a lot of the history of music and the origins of every genre, and sort of really sort of prominent established people in the industry, and just general stuff about everything as much as we could. They really wanted to teach us everything, and that's, I want to stress that as well. Like they really, like, the teachers there really do care about the field that they're teaching in, and they do want to help as much as possible, and they want to teach you everything. So yeah, it can feel like a lot because they just want you to know as much as you can. But yeah, they even taught us things. We had our non-compulsory sort of classes, not non-compulsory, we had to be there, but there were classes that weren't actually in the curriculum, that they weren't in the course, that we still sort of went to, like music theory, that wasn't actually any part of the diploma, but we still sort of had that once a week. So lots of things like that as well. But so yeah, it was a lot of work. It's hard work. But yeah, if you can just get your head down and do it,
Mm,
you will be grateful for it in the
of
end.
course. How good were the teachers there? Did you really get on with them really well?
Yes, definitely. So the music department, so music director and the music teachers, yeah, they were really supportive. I feel I felt very supported and very cared for by the department, and I felt that, yeah, they really had, yeah, they were good people. They were really good people that really just want to help young artists do good, and sort of give them that platform to start building their own career on, and hope that what they've supplied will help, and something will come out of it. So yeah, I
Definitely.
have nothing bad to say there.
Good. And what was some of your favorite moments whilst you were there at the Brit School?
Oh, lots of moments. I'd say a good highlight for me was, of course, the shows. When we did our shows, that goes without saying, that was what I was there for anyway. So of course they were the highlights. Just the communal feeling there with it, and just the adrenaline and the excitement and sort of like the energy going on. It was just really, it was the best time to be there.
Brilliant.
um and also we had a lot of people come in and give us, talks and here and there. We got a lot of information from outside as well, like, which was really good, to have that. And Noah Rogers came in once and did
Wow.
a little talk, and he sort of, it was the 50, I think it was the music strand. It was the year 13 music strand, and he just come in to give us a little talk, and he'd had his guitar and he was sitting there and he was playing, he's talking to us about sort of his old tunes and how they originated, and telling us stories basically about him and him in the 80s and everything, which was really nice. So that was really nice because yeah, that was definitely a highlight, to be able to sort of speak with him and sort of ask him questions at the end.
Brilliant. And who else came down? Because I wanted to ask you about that as well. Who else came down to give talks whilst you were there?
When I think it was in year 10, when I first there, obviously we weren't given this talk, but Simon Cowell even came in once.
Really?
But he was there to talk to the year 13s. It wasn't I was in year 10 at that point. So that was quite interesting. And he came in through the gates and in his Rolls Royce or whatever he was in. And everyone was like, Simon Cowell. But no, we didn't actually get a talk from him. We've got a talk from, who is it? God, I feel really bad. I can't remember his name. It was someone, I think, from Sony, who was just sort of talking to us about that sort of A&R and sort of stuff like that. And then sort of, gosh, who else? We had a beatboxer, forgot her name. I'm really bad with names, I really am.
I'm the worst with names, don't worry.
Someone else, this guy, he's a presenter, he's a radio DJ or something, and he's a lawyer, which I found very interesting. Because so it's like, wow, you've done a law career and you're a musician. So that's interesting. There's two very, very sort of time-consuming things.
That's mad. Lawyer and a musician.
I respect that. But yeah, no, we did have a lot of sort of Alistair Webber.
Nice.
He came in as well. He's now part of the governor sort of system within the school as well. So yeah, no, we've had quite a few. Forgive me, I can't remember the names.
That's all right. But I want to go talk about the performances as well. Were they just primarily in Brit School, or did you have the chance to perform in other places as well?
So we had one show that we had, instead of having it in the school, we had it in another venue locally. Actually, now I think of it, a lot of our performances, when it came to the assessed performances that were at the end of term, they were in Brit. They were on Brit School. We had one at Stanley Halls, and primarily they were at Brit or around the Croydon area. We haven't actually. Oh no, Apple Store. We went to I did a gig at Apple Store on Regent Street.
Oh, nice.
With some of the Brit guys. We did that one there. That was good. Yeah. Did
you have any kind of favourite performances throughout your time there? Was that one of them, the Apple Store one?
That was a very cool one. Of course, that was different because it was a solo show, so we weren't in bands. It was just you and yourself.
Oh wow!
Or you as a band, if you have your own band, cool. Or do it as I did it, just me and the piano, and singing. So that was cool. It was nice. It was interesting. I'd say we did a world show at the end of our last show there was at Brit. It was in the OB Theatre in Brit School, but we did a world show, and everyone had a bit of mixed emotions about it in the beginning because we were all singing in different languages and we were singing all these different stuff, but at the end of the day, it was amazing. It was such a good show, and it was so exciting to sort of have all these, different vibes going on and sort of tropical, foreign, just every part of the world. You had sort of that kind of atmosphere there. It was a really cool show. I enjoyed that a lot.
That's
even though
brilliant.
it was the last.
What language did you sing in then?
I did Portuguese.
Oh,
I
did
did
you?
mais que nada, se da minha frente.
Oh, tune. How
Yeah,
was
we did that one.
how was that for you then? Like to learn like a completely new language and sing it as well. Must be so difficult, or
Yeah,
was it really
well,
fun?
it was fun. I mean, it was obviously Portuguese. Sort of, it's. I don't think it's the most difficult of all of them. Obviously, there was a Japanese song, and
Yeah.
there was a I think there was a Russian song. I think those are a bit more difficult to learn rather than sort of Portuguese, Italian, Spanish, sort of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, it ended up me singing the lead vocal on my own when I was meant to be doing it with my friend.
Okay.
But unfortunately, she got really bad uh, tonsillitis and
Oh
just
no.
before, and she couldn't do it. So I ended up doing it on my own, but she actually spoke Portuguese herself.
Oh
She
wow.
so it was like it was fine because she was there helping me as we were singing it together and practicing. But then I ended up doing it on my own. So
Yeah.
I thank her in the end, really, even though she wasn't there singing it with me on the stage. I do thank her for helping me, and
Yeah, you know
it's
what?
a
Talking about
shame.
that actually, did say any other students were like say bilingual, for instance, if they could speak Spanish and English or whatever it might be, did they make them learn a different song on purpose to go out of their comfort zone, or were they happy for you to choose any kind of foreign language?
That's interesting. Well, the way it went was we were allowed to give suggestions for certain songs, and I
Hmm.
think some people did, and maybe some people put forward a song with that goes with that they know or that they can understand or whatever. So I think there were a few people who could speak the language that was in a song that could speak that language. But I do know that there was someone who, yeah, there would have been people that could speak other languages that were put in a song that wasn't in that language. Yeah,
Mm.
100%. I'm pretty sure there was.
Oh, fair enough. 'Cause I thought it
Yeah,
might kind of like try and push them out their comfort zone and do something they're not used to. But I think you choose
I
your own
think
song.
that's. I think it was a mix. I think because it was quite flexible, especially when it got to the sixth form. It was like if someone did have a real issue with
Hmm.
a certain part in a certain thing, which wasn't that common because you know at that point you're meant to be professional and just sort of whatever, just do what you got to do. But so if you did have a real issue with it and you went and spoke to the director, then I'm sure he would have done what he could to sort of help you out. But yeah, I think there would have been some people who were in a band that they knew the language of, but I'm sure there would have been people like vice versa.
Hmm. Fair enough. How did you find your time as being a solo singer? Do you feel your time at Brit School really helped you improve and become more confident?
Oh,
Or
100%.
yeah.
100%. 100%. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, just because it's because it was they've obviously there's a lot of funding that goes into the Brit School, and we've got a beautiful stage in there that has it's the full setup. We've got the lights, we've got it's a massive thing, and it gives you that feeling that you really are sort of on a big stage out in a big theatre, and it just that in itself really sort of prepares you and sort of gets you used to that environment and that vibe. But more so it was just for me, my personal thing was about expressing myself on stage.
Hmm.
A lot of the time I would want to hold back, and when going to Brit, that really is just what pushed me out of that, because it was like, you know express yourself, like everyone's here to sort of do that. And being in a place where you've got so many people who think like you in that aspect, it's just really encouraging. And yeah, you don't even feel it as well. It's something you don't feel. It's like you know, there's like a quote, it's like a butterfly doesn't feel itself transforming. So it's like you don't actually you know, you don't feel it, you don't feel yourself getting more confident stuff until you've got to a point where you can look back and think, wow, like I really have come far just in, you know, just in the 2 years of being there. It was such a good encouragement and confidence boost, really was.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. Have you been back since you graduated?
No, not in the last year. I think I went a few times within the year after I graduated, I think, for various different reasons. I did a little, that was it, yeah, I did do a shoot there, a little shoot for just a photo shoot. I was working with a student that was actually still at the Brit School at the time, so I went back there and we used one of the studios there to do a little photo shoot, which was nice. So yeah, that was about a year. That was about a year ago, almost a year ago. So yeah, it's nice. It's always going to be in my heart. And yeah, I would love to probably go back sometime.
Nice. Was that your first photo shoot as well that you've been part of?
Sorry, say again?
was that your first photo shoot that you've been part of?
Oh no, like no, like
Okay.
it was no, like no.
Okay.
It wasn't a photo shoot. I wasn't like a photo shoot that sort of, you know, you see Kendall Jenner going to.
No. No,
but you know,
not that level.
It's not that level, no. But no, it wasn't the first sort of little shoot I'd gone to or anything. But yeah, it was nice.
Oh, nice.
Work with someone that's still there.
Nice. Are you still in contact with people from there, like friends, people in your class and so forth?
Yeah. Definitely
Good.
got still friends from class and stuff, and hopefully forever friends. Actually, the drummer that plays in the band that I sort of play in a gig around London in with my music, he was at Brit School with me from year 10, so we were at there for the 4 years together, and we're really good friends, and so it's nice that we're playing together now. And
brilliant.
we're a little team.
Yeah, I was going to ask actually if you work with anyone still from the Brit School. Do you have your own band right now, or is it still mainly solo stuff that you do now?
Yeah, no. So I've been gigging around London with this with the band. It's like a new jazz band. Just my friends. Like I said, the drummer is a good friend that I went to school with at Brit. And the other saxophonist is also Brit graduate. He's a couple years older. He's in a few years above. Again, the bassist in the band, he was also at Brit. He was in the year above me though, so we didn't communicate much whilst we were at the school. We met outside after, and the only one who's the odd one out is the guitarist.
Oh, really?
Ed. Yeah, so they all met at so they all go to Trinity Conservatoire now, and that's how I sort of got in contact with them, because the drummer Stan, he's gone to Trinity and stuff, so he met them all there and formed a little band there and was like, yeah, we'll play for you.
Oh, brilliant.
So it was just really nice, and now we're all really good friends, and yeah, we have fun gigging around London.
Brilliant. Have you been to Trinity yet to see it or do any work there?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about the lockdown, is because, well, ever since we've been playing together, we've been rehearsing at Trinity because it's, you know, free rehearsal things. Yeah. Because they're all students there, and so yeah, I can just come in as a guest, and they can book a room and we can rehearse there. So that's what we do. We rehearse there sort of 90% of the time, but obviously it's a conservatoire, it's a university, so it's closed, and that's not where we can rehearse right now. So that's a bit of a shame. We have to pay for a rehearsal space now.
Tell me about it.
It's always a bummer.
But you know, yeah, go on, sorry. Yeah, oh, brilliant. No. Like who's inspired you leading up to this moment and today? Who kind of inspires you to write and sing? Do you look up to certain people?
Are you speaking artist wise?
Artist wise, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I respect Adele, I'd
Hmm.
say, more than pretty much, well, Nile Rodgers is up there too. But as a female artist, as a woman, Adele, for me, has done the most incredible job with handling her career and owning her career,
Hmm.
and being the level of fame she's at, and having the respect that she has not only from her fans but from the industry, and just in general, her lyrics and the fact that she has got to the point where she's at with nothing but her voice,
Hmm.
or nothing but her voice and her power and her lyrics and her, yeah, the power in that woman is just, I respect so much. And I think she is one of my greatest inspirations, even though she is a modern artist.
Hmm.
She really just inspires me, I think even more so because she's handled this and she's got to where she is in this modern society we live in.
Hmm.
And I think she's just done such a good job. That and Alicia Keys. I think
Yeah.
Alicia Keys, beautiful songs, beautiful soulful music. And also, I don't know, I'm sure you know FKJ.
Hmm.
Love FKJ. I really am inspired by him because he's self-taught. He's taught himself every instrument via the internet.
Mm.
And I just respect that. Like I play by ear myself. I was self-taught on the piano, but to think that he's taught himself saxophone, the piano, the way he plays it, guitar, just drum, like everything he's done, sort of just on his own, and he's doing it all independently, pretty much. So yeah, I really respect him. So I think those three are my tops. And then if you're gonna look at business-wise,
Hmm.
again, Adele, but Justin Timberlake as well, I heavily respect in the sense that he's just so successful. I
Yeah.
mean, majorly successful. He's done
Majorly.
so good. He's done so good.
Yeah.
And he's had a very long career, it's coming on 30 years. Like,
Crazy, isn't it? Going from NSYNC to now. I think even Disney before that as well. It's
yeah,
mad.
exactly. When he child star, and to be a child star and to have not gotten,
Yeah.
ruined and mentally just lost. I mean,
So
he's
true.
yeah. I mean,
Because that's what
he's a very good businessman. I
he
respect his
is.
business
Because
more
that
than his.
30 years consistent as well. Hasn't like he's fallen off and then come back. He's been consistently good the whole time, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
consistent, and yeah, like he may have sold out a little bit now. I don't know, with the Smurf thing or something. Like
Trolls,
he's
yeah.
very poppy. He's not doing anything like he used to, and the real original sort of Justin Timberlake. But at the same time, you can't blame him because again, unfortunately, we don't. That's not the mainstream anymore, is it?
It's
So,
not. That's what people don't realize as well, that you can't be the same person for so long because people get bored and
hard, yeah.
the
It's
rest of that.
hard.
And that's why you see, like, just now that it's kind of sold out. In a way, like you said, it's not kind of his fault though, because he has to change his
Yeah,
sound and
that's
look
yeah,
to remain
exactly.
consistent. Yeah,
I think he deserves it as well.
he
At the end of
does.
the day,
He does.
like
Because
and he's still out there.
he's so true, and that's what people realize. That, like, people have to change this time to remain consistent, and like maybe it might not be everyone's cup of tea all the time, but it's how you remain consistent and relevant for so long, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's true.
Mhm.
But when it comes to kind of writing your lyrics and structuring them, do you kind of base on these artists as well, or do you try and kind of be as original as possible?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in originality. I think that's everyone. You're a snowflake. Like,
Mhm.
and you've got to own that, and you've got to be proud of that, and you've got to find yourself, find you, and like express that, and let people know, like, just sort of what you've got to give, and sort of that you're not gonna sort of try and you know sort of mold yourself into what you think people are going to want or people are going to like. It's about being yourself all the time and knowing that that's really how you're going to do good and get anywhere in life in a happiness and peaceful sense.
Definitely.
So yeah, like I'm a firm believer of that. Of course, I take inspiration from a lot of artists, I guess, but yeah, I always would try and keep it original, 100%.
Best way to be. How would you kind of describe your own sound? Because I've heard your work, obviously, it's fantastic. How would you describe it?
It's interesting when I'm asked this question because I feel like I want to really. I've always wanted to have quite a variety of genre going on. I think, I think if you're going to sum it up, it's sort of a jazz, soul, pop mix. But then I think personally, when it comes to my voice, I don't know if it's partly because I have dysfunctional breathing, but I feel like there are quite a few different sounds I can get out of it. And there are times where I can be singing one song and there may be sort of 3 different sort of tones coming out. And it sort of can, I don't know, I like to do sort of acoustic folky jazz, but then I really like to do sort of lo-fi hip hop, sort of jazzy R&B beats and sort of sing and sort of play around with those. So yeah, a very sort of broad, wide range, and I would like to do that as well. I don't necessarily want to sort of put myself in a box. I'd like to sort of be able to try out everything and not too much. Like, I'm not going to go on to death metal, but like, yeah, I enjoy most music, most types of music, and I want to be able to be a part of all of it as well. So yeah.
Good. Like you mentioned, or you do that dysfunctional breathing. I mean, is that something you like
Yeah.
to talk about?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can talk about it.
yeah. Like what happens there, or what
It's
happens?
not. It's a weird one. Apparently, it's something they only recently discovered because it's something I've had since I was a baby and something I wasn't diagnosed with until I was 15. So I've struggled with breathing all my life. It's hypoventilation. It's very shallow breathing, and I basically don't I don't like use my diaphragm when I breathe. I have to consciously think about it to use my diaphragm. Otherwise, it's all going into my chest. And it's just very shallow breathing. So it means that I'm holding my breath a lot all the time. So I'm holding my breath a lot of the time when I sing. And sometimes I'll have to sort of breathe out and it will sort of change the tone of my voice all of a sudden. Or again, like something else, I have to hold my breath and again, the tone of my voice changes. So I feel like that does contribute to like I said, again, I feel like there's a few different tones I can get out in one, verse even kind of thing of a song. So yeah, I mean, it's not a great thing though. It does cause, it's quite painful because it's just like, you can get to a point where you feel like you can't breathe. There's times where I just can't breathe. I'm randomly sitting down and I can't breathe.
Really?
Yeah, it's difficult, and it's also a downside to it with the singing is it's not helped at all with projection. You need a big breath. You need to build a big breath behind, and it's like to project your voice far, and I can struggle with that a lot, especially going into my higher range. But overall, I guess you could maybe say singing might slightly help it, maybe exercising it, because there are times where you've got to, if you do need a big breath, I'm going to think it's like, okay, take a deep breath, work that diaphragm, because it doesn't naturally happen. But if I consciously think about it, I can breathe opening up my diaphragm. It's really difficult. It's something that it's a shame that they didn't find out when I was actually a baby and when I actually had it and I was back and forth to the hospitals because I couldn't breathe and I was getting chest pain, and they just turned me away. But because if I had got the physiotherapy for it when I was a baby or when I was a toddler, when you're much more easy, you you can train your body easily, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just, you're very easy to mold like that. But then when you've breathed a certain way for 15 years, it's very difficult when someone tries to say to you, okay, now you've got to change your entire breathing pattern. Like, you've got to train yourself to breathe a different way. And when I did start going to physiotherapy sessions, it just hurt. It really caused me a lot of pain to just try and breathe the way, like, you know, you would breathe if you don't have breathing issues. But like, so yeah, it's a shame that I've got it, but I feel like there's pros and cons, I guess. You can look at the bright side in certain aspects, maybe.
Yeah. Like, what was the kind of training that you had to do at the physiotherapy to be able to overcome that obstacle in your life?
The simplest thing, it was just lying down and breathing in for about 5 seconds, and letting your diaphragm expand, and then breathing out for 8 seconds.
Oh, okay.
All she wanted me to do was lie down and breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 8 seconds with my diaphragm, and it caused me severe pain.
Really?
Just to do that. Yeah, it's like tight-chested feelings. Very. Yeah, it's not cool.
It's
not
cool.
And yeah, and the thing about it.
Sorry,
I'll
let you carry on. So I keep interrupting. Sorry.
No. I think it's because there's a slight tiny delay going on as well in the whole connection thing.
Now I was going to ask actually if did they like prescribe you any kind of medication or like muscle relaxants or something just to help you kind of overcome that pain that you're going through?
No, nothing like that. It was because the thing I was going to say was, they said it's not a physical issue. It's not like a disease. It's not like you've got anything wrong with your lungs. You've not got anything wrong with your lungs. You've not got anything wrong with your diaphragm. You just don't use it. She was like, it's the way you breathe. There's nothing wrong with you physically, but it's the way that you breathe is just wrong. So she's like, yeah, that it's not something you can actually treat. It's not like something you can get given medication for. It's not an issue that can be fixed. It can only be fixed or sort of, helped if you retrain the way you breathe. And that's through just breathing exercises, the breathing physiotherapy. And to be honest, I should do it more. I should actually just force myself to do it and go through the pain, because I don't know how it would affect me in 20 years time. And yeah, I don't know. It's not a life-threatening thing, of course. It's just severe shallow breathing. So yeah, that's a vulnerability, I guess. But
Do you still go physio now, or is it just down to you to train at home now?
Yeah, it's all down to you. It's just you get on with it, which I get it, but my real disappointment was just the fact that it wasn't something that they noticed properly when I actually had it when I was a baby. And it, me and my family think it was because of the birth that I had. I had a traumatic birth. That was
really?
Yeah, very bad. It was it was a bad traumatic birth, and that's, I think, what triggered it and caused me to breathe the way I breathe. So,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Though. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's my normal.
Yeah, no, I can stay with me. I had a really traumatic birth as well.
Really?
Really bad. Yeah. Technically, I shouldn't really be here, but it was really
no.
bad. And my mum as well, obviously. But the main thing is we're healthy. We're here now. We're doing really well.
100%.
So, yeah.
And there's a reason for us to be here. I mean,
of course, definitely.
100%. Like, to have been faced with death the first day of your life here on Earth, and to have got over that is a big symbol to me.
Yeah, me too. I'm just really proud of everything that you're doing at the moment, and that whole experience, like Brit School and your EP as well, which you want to talk about as well, actually. Yeah, like one more thing about Brit School, actually. You mentioned obviously the sound of your music, it's kind of like that lo-fi hip hop to R&B jazz fusions that you're working on, plus other bits as well. Did they kind of advise you to focus on one particular genre and then spread out after that, or did they kind of not push you, but encourage you to try other genres whilst you're there at the same time?
Do you know, it was interesting because Now that I think about it, I don't remember much about ever being spoken to about, you know, our original stuff. I don't think they ever really had wanted much input in our own original stuff. It was like, and then it was sort of like, you know, and then when you're doing your original music, you can kind of do like blah blah. It was, they never sort of encouraged us to I was never spoken to and said, oh yeah, Ellie, I really think you should sort of really get properly into the jazz scene and just go full on, like get a big band going. And like, that no one has, as far as I'm aware, has ever been approached like that at the thing. It was all mainly about the industry. It's about what you're going to deal with when you're performing, when you're like this. So essentially it was preparation for going into the industry. It wasn't like, and that's not guaranteeing every single person is even going to get into the industry. That's what they're hoping.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, essentially at the end of the day, it is still down to us. It's not, and that's the thing. I think there is a slight misconception about Brit School. A lot of people think, oh, if you go there, like that's that, they're going to sort you out straight away. Like afterwards, they're going to hook you up with this person, hook you up. No, it's not like that. It's like, okay, well done, really proud of you, you know, so great, good luck, bye.
Wow.
And that's it. And that's literally it. It's you got to do it by yourself, and you've got to realize that if you want to do well after this school, you need to sit down and absorb the information that they're giving you and really take it in and understand that, you know, this is it. It is my responsibility. No one's going to do this for me. No one's going to do it for you. There's no puppet strings. You've got to do it yourself. So yeah, that's it. I mean, of course, there's still Brit Careers. There's a Brit Careers department, which Brit graduates are still, of course, welcome to get in contact with, and they can sort of help you out with maybe apprenticeships or sort of like work experience here, and sort of maybe different universities and like sort of further education stuff. But other than that, you know, it's just do it. You've just got to get on with it and
Yeah,
hope for the
definitely.
best.
Definitely. And I know that you're gonna have a big career because, like you said, like I know you. I've seen a video of the performance. Like, you know, when you can just see something in someone, that's because they have a big career.
Oh wow.
No,
Oh,
and
I really appreciate
that's my
that.
pleasure. That's all right.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
and I want to talk about your EP that you bought out. It was about a year ago, wasn't it? You bought out an EP, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
almost a year ago now. On my
Vibrations, wasn't
birthday,
it?
I really,
Wow.
yeah,
Happy birthday.
vibration.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I released it on my birthday. I was like, why
So
not?
how,
But
go on, tell me about that. How was it? What was it like being out your own EP then in the first place? What was that like?
yeah, so obviously that was exciting. That was something that I'd really been meaning to do for a while. Get something out there, get something on sort of major streaming platforms, that I can sort of, you know, sort of practice marketing with, I guess.
Hmm.
It's my sort of first, and it was really exciting. Obviously had the band on it, the band that I play with. That was sort of, they played on it, and it was really the process of bringing my songs to you know, a group of musicians and having us all sort of play to it and then figure their own parts to it. That was amazing in itself. And yeah, it was like, wow, okay, it's starting, kind of thing. And then we recorded it live at semi-live at Roundhouse Studios.
Amazing.
And it was so nice. It was just really cool. We recorded the keys, bass and drums live, and then we overdubbed the sax, guitar and vocals. And we did 5 songs in like 2.5 days,
Wow.
which wasn't long enough. And that's the thing, it was actually stressful towards the end because I'd set this release date. I told people it was coming, and I wanted it to come out on my birthday. I was just being like, I don't know, I was just like, I want it to go out on my birthday. I don't want to change the date, like, and again, I'm a perfectionist. So yeah, it got stressful because, you know, we had 2.5 days, and we should have at least had 3 days. So, you know, but for what we got out of it, and also I was actually ill. Oh, bloody hell, I was
Really?
ill. I was so ill. My throat was like, it was so bad. And if you speak to anybody that was there, they will tell you I was like, my mum was begging me to just stop and cancel, but I paid a good amount of money for this. I didn't want to just stop, and I was adamant it had to come out on my birthday. So yeah, I forced myself to sing, and I lost my voice for like a few days after it. But it was something. I think it was something that I am proud of it. I definitely 100% think it could have been 10 times better. Like, goes without saying, on my part. But yeah, it's something that I was really happy to have out there and just excited about, and I got very lovely feedback about it, and it was just, it was another eye-opener, I guess, another eye-opener to like, wow, okay, it's the next phase now. We're really going in for it, and we've really got to do this. We've really got to get this shit out there.
Yeah, definitely. Would you see one a bit like want to make it 10 times better? Would you ever kind of rework it for the future to make it that much better? Yeah,
100%. I definitely at least want to re-record Zeus and have that maybe released as a single as well from it. But yeah, 100% at least three to or 5 of the tunes I want to definitely re-record and release. And yeah, maybe change some parts, because it is still a sentimental work to me. It's those are my 5 songs that I chose to put in there because they are sort of songs that I'd written since about the age of 14, 15, like, and they were just sort of those songs that you really feel proud of, like, as a young developing artist. So that's what I wanted to show for, and it was the originality as well, like that was really what I'm about, kind of thing.
brilliant.
So yeah, 100%.
Definitely. And what's the future hold for you? What are you working on at the moment? You're working on brand new material right now?
So got a lot of I'm working quite a bit at the moment. I've got some tunes that I've been personally working on, like something that I've sort of done all me, and I want to sort of take it to sort of a few different. I want to get a few collaborations going. I've been reaching out to quite a few artists at the moment, and sort of hoping to sort of get some real good quality out there, because just a lot of, I'm thinking about collaborations right now, and sort of, again, variety, because I feel like with the music I have out there now, the quality could be a lot better. My latest single, No, that's quality, that's good, but I think there can be slightly better. And then the other songs that were released before No, those are, I'm not proud of the quality there, essentially. Like, so yeah, I definitely want to start releasing some stuff that I feel are a little better quality, with a little bit more variation going on as well.
Nice.
So a lot of stuff is going on. There is a lot of creating going on.
Good.
Hopefully going to release something soon.
Oh, brilliant. I'm really looking forward to hearing that. I can't wait.
Thank you.
A pleasure. But before we go, though, I always love to finish off the podcast with asking what the best lessons you've learned in your journey so far, from the beginning to now so far. So what have been some of the best lessons that you've learned so far in the musical journey?
I think what I've learned about, see, when I look at, there's 2 parts to music. There's the music and then there's the business. When I look at the music, I just think, wow, innocence. I just think innocence, like just complete innocence. I see just expression and purity. And then I look at the business side and I'm like, whew, icebergs.
Yeah.
Cold. Okay, we've got the yin and the yang here. Perfect. Yin and yang is amazing, but it's something that you really need to understand as an artist, as a performer, as a businesswoman, as a businessman, as anything, is if you're going into the music industry, you need to understand that these 2 are very segregated parts and they are very different. And you have to understand that it's not all about expression and innocence and purity and let's just share this with the world and let's just bring people together. And it's like, nah, this is one of the richest corporations in the world. And you know, it's a white collar business, and it's cold, and you've got to be so careful about who you approach and who approaches you, and who you decide to interact with and work with, because at the end of the day, take example from so many artists who have crashed and burned because of either their labels or because of the media or because of just the team they have around them, who aren't actually in it for them. They're not there to protect them. They're there for money. They're there to look at, you know, it's very cold. And I think that's something I understand, and I will forever be heavily aware of and look to learn more about, because it's a business. It's music, but it's business, and business is cold. Like, it's a cold world out here, and that's the sad truth, really. It's just, you've got to learn how to play the game, really, as well, and you've got to try and keep control of your life and keep control of your rights, because I think if you get to a point where you have signed yourself away, you know, it just, a human spirit can't survive like that. And if your spirit can't survive, your body's going to deteriorate. So that's that for me. That's the biggest lesson I'd say I've learned so far about the music world, is just be careful, like when it comes to the business. But like I said, the performance aspect and the writing and the creating aspect, the innocence in that is just so pure. So it's definitely a yin and yang for me, and that's
Definitely.
what I've learned.
Brilliant. And that's an amazing way to finish off. I couldn't agree more with what you just said there. But only, Ellie, thank you so much for an amazing episode today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. And everyone, go and check out Ellie. Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, find me at Spotify, Apple Music. So just Ellie Harris, literally Ellie Harris. And then Instagram and social medias is Ellie Harris Music. And that's it.
Brilliant. I'll leave links below for you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ellie. Lovely to speak with you. That's the end of the episode, everyone. Take care. Bye.